The moment the door swung open, the cold December air rushed in, along with a whisper that froze him where he stood. "My kids are in the car." Those 5 words crashed into his chest harder than any winter wind, because in that instant, Ryan saw not a stranger on his front porch, but a reflection of everything he had been carrying alone for years. The streetlight behind her shimmered across her nervous eyes, and for the first time since his wife died, his heartbeat didn't feel empty, it felt terrified of feeling again. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that heal, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kind Tales. Your support helps these stories reach more hearts. Ryan had spent the entire day convincing himself this blind date wasn't a mistake. His sister had practically forced him into it, insisting he deserved connection, deserved more than the quiet, mechanical routines that filled his life as a single dad. Mornings were the hardest, waking up alone, preparing breakfast for his energetic 6-year-old daughter, Hannah, who still asked why mommy wasn't coming back. Evenings weren't much easier. The house felt heavy with silence once she fell asleep, leaving him surrounded by half-finished chores and memories that lingered like shadows on the walls. But tonight, his sister's voice echoed in his mind, "You need someone who sees you as a man again, not just a father trying to survive grief." He had expected a woman dressed for a dinner date, maybe carrying a small purse, maybe wearing too much perfume, maybe forcing polite smiles. He had expected awkward greetings, hesitant conversations, and the usual pressure to pretend everything was fine, but he had not expected a mother. And certainly not one who arrived with her children waiting in the car. The woman, Emily, stood there, cheeks flushed, hands trembling slightly as she explained how her babysitter canceled last minute and how she didn't want to flake on him because she knew what it meant to carve out time as a single parent. Her honesty disarmed him. Her vulnerability reminded him of his own. Ryan hesitated only a moment before stepping outside into the biting cold and walking with her toward the car. Inside, 2 young kids sat bundled in puffy jackets, staring curiously at the stranger approaching them. Something inside him softened instantly. Their innocence, their small hands gripping their blankets, their wide uncertain eyes, everything stirred a warmth he hadn't felt in years. He found himself smiling, genuinely, as he introduced himself and helped guide them inside. He had planned for a quiet evening, maybe dinner in town, but instead, he found himself clearing space on his living room floor for children's toys and turning on the fireplace to warm the chilly air. The night unfolded in the kind of imperfect, chaotic way that only parents understand: spilled juice, mismatched socks, crayons rolling under the couch, and kids climbing onto cushions like mountains. But somehow, that chaos felt more comforting than any sophisticated date ever could. Emily kept apologizing, her voice colored with embarrassment, but each time Ryan reassured her, he realized he meant it. Watching her wipe her daughter's nose, watching her son fall asleep on her lap, watching her try her best despite her exhaustion, he saw something familiar. Someone fighting through life with resilience stitched into every movement. Someone who understood the heaviness he never spoke about. Throughout the evening, their conversation wove through topics parents rarely get to share: fears, guilt, loneliness, and the pressure to be strong even when they feel like breaking. Emily revealed how her husband had left when their second child was only a year old. No explanation. No goodbye. Just a note and silence. She admitted she had blamed herself for months, wondering what she wasn't enough of: pretty enough, patient enough, lovable enough. She worked long shifts, juggling 2 kids and bills that always seemed to climb faster than her income. Ryan listened, and as she spoke, something long closed inside his heart quietly opened. He shared how losing his wife in a car accident shattered him in ways he didn't think he could ever articulate. How he struggled with guilt every time he laughed because happiness felt like betrayal. How he feared letting anyone new into his life because love came with the risk of loss. Their pain didn't clash, it aligned. Their wounds recognized each other. Hours passed, and the house slowly shifted from lively to calm. The fireplace cast golden reflections across the walls as the children finally fell asleep on a blanket spread out on the carpet. Emily tucked them in gently while Ryan watched from the kitchen doorway, touched by the softness in her expression. When she stood up, brushing her hair behind her ear, she looked around his cozy but slightly messy home and said something that lingered in him longer than anything else that night. She said she hadn't felt this safe in a very, very long time. He didn't know how to respond. Safety was something he hadn't felt in ages either. For a moment, he simply let the truth of her words settle in the quiet air between them. The fireplace crackled softly. Outside, winter winds brushed against the windows. Inside, two people who had walked through storms found a pocket of peace neither expected. They shared tea at the dining table while the house slept around them. Emily's voice grew softer, her emotions closer to the surface as she confessed how afraid she was, afraid of trusting, afraid of hoping, afraid of getting used to kindness only to lose it again. Ryan didn't offer clichés or hollow reassurances. Instead, he shared his own fear, admitting how easy it was to hide behind routines instead of risking another heartbreak. In that shared honesty, something fragile but real formed, an understanding, a connection that didn't need labels or promises yet. As midnight approached, Emily prepared to leave. The thought of her walking out the door made the room feel colder. Ryan helped her carry the kids gently to the car, lifting them with the quiet tenderness of someone who knew how precious sleeping children were. Emily watched him, her eyes glistening with gratitude so deep it almost broke him. As she buckled them in, she whispered that tonight was the first time